Perfect. We are live now. Hello, Sidra. Thank you so much for joining us today. How was your day
Thank you
today?
so It has been pretty well. It has gone pretty well. Thank you for asking. How was your day?
Pretty good as well. Just swamped with work, lots of work to do. I'm so happy to finally be meeting you today.
Yeah, I'm so
Um,
happy to meet you too.
yeah. So quickly, my name is Ali Bahati. I am the communication manager at Jumpstart Refugee Talent. Jumpstart is a nonprofit that supports economic empowerment of refugees in Canada through meaningful employment and entrepreneurship opportunities. We are doing right now a fundraising campaign through our donation store, a very unique donation campaign idea for everyone out there. We collaborate with refugee-led businesses, authors, and artists to bring you a unique experience for gift giving every year. This is the second year that we're doing it. I'm excited to starting this year's campaign here with Sidra from Elegant Art. Now, before I jump in with Sidra, I also wanted to do an acknowledgement that we are living on Indigenous lands all the way from the west coast to the east coast. I'm joining from Vancouver. Citra is joining us from Toronto. I was blown away by the story of the two young girls, the Syrian ladies who started this organization, and they decided themselves to start it. We will talk about this briefly in a bit, but first, I'd like to introduce you to Sidra here. Can you please introduce us about yourself, talk a bit about you, where you come from, your upbringing?
For sure. Thank you so much. I want to thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm so happy to be here right now and to have the opportunity to talk about myself with and the collaboration with Jumpstart. They're an amazing organization, super lovely to collaborate with. And I'm Sidra and I'm 14 years old and I I live in Canada and I'm in grade 9 right now. I come from Syria and I left my home country at 4 years old to go to Turkey. I lived there for 4 years, and after that, after 4 years of living there, I came to Canada, and now I'm here. So that's a bit about me. I'm an artist, and I have a bunch of hobbies. I love a lot of sports. I love writing and a bunch more stuff. Yeah,
What's your favorite sport?
I actually love badminton a lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
following up the World Cup next week.
Sorry.
Following up with the World Cup.
Oh, I don't really have a lot of time for that, but I like playing it more than actually watching it. It's yeah, the feelings for it. Do you have any favorite sport for?
I love just general playing sports rather than watching, but yeah, just
Yeah,
yeah,
same.
more martial arts would be my one of my favorites. But yeah, thank you for asking, Sidra.
Thank you.
Uh, as you know, as you said, you're 14 years old in ninth grade. Thank you so much for giving us your time right now. I know it's a season within the schools where there's a lot happening in terms of your exams and papers and everything that you need to finish up. So I'm
Yeah.
really happy and grateful for you to be joining us today. Can you also tell me about your feeling and your experience arriving to Canada? How was that for you, leaving the home country at a young age, traveling all the way and resettling Canada? Did it feel like home to you here? What was your feeling?
I actually don't really remember a lot about like Syria in general, like living there. I have a bit of vague memories, like our house there, parts of it, my favorite dolls, things like that. I remember going a lot to my grandpa's farm, and me and my cousins would play around there. And I remember my grandpa was building like a whole playground there, and I was super excited because there was gonna be swings and everything, and I was obsessed with swings. So I was very excited to do that. But then the war came, and a lot of our plans were kind of delayed because of everything that was going on and things were being destroyed in our surroundings. And I was just 4 years old. So, in my eyes, as a young child, I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't know why this was happening and why so many people were in constant fear and terror. And I remember I would hear like bombs crashing, and me and my family would huddle up and we would sleep in the same room away from all the like the outer layer of our house, so that if something comes and bombs our area, we wouldn't be hurt. And it was just the constant fear and terror that I didn't know what I was running away from, but the only thing I knew was that I was running away from a big monster that I haven't seen yet. So that was very terrifying for a young child, and seeing all the destruction that would later come on in life for more adults. Like you wouldn't see the dark side of the world as a young child. So I had to go through that, and so my parents had to make a tough decision of leaving everything behind, not taking anything with us, leaving our family and our home and belongings. The plan was to leave for a while and see what happens, see if anything kind of settles down, and then we would come back to our home. But then things kind of extended to a long period of time, and we still haven't returned, and I hope that day comes. But yeah. So we left our home country. I was 4 years old, my sister was 2 years old, and we went to Turkey as refugees, and we stayed there for 4 years. We went through a lot of trouble and a lot of big challenges there, and it was extremely difficult for us to be facing that at such a young age, be kind of going in the phase of having to learn about the real world and experience it and be able to go with it as young children. So we lived in Turkey, and then after that, we got the opportunity of coming to Canada, which was super fascinating. I didn't know anything about Canada. I just knew that we were going to a new place and it was going to be a new experience and everything. So when we came to Canada, I remember the first people who met us gave us these bunny stuffies, and I still have them actually. I was so excited because bunnies are my favorite animals, and they gave them to me, and I felt such like warmness over me because I knew that these people were so kind and they don't even know us. They're treating us like we've known each other for a long time. So from that moment onwards, I knew that Canada was such a welcoming place and that people there were genuinely nice. And the first experience of going to our first school in Canada, I was in grade 3. So I was meeting the principal. I went to the school and they made like a giant poster that had welcome in different languages throughout the school. And it was made by the students to welcome me and my sister into the school, and it was such a nice initiative. I was so happy, and I got to meet a lot of friends there. So the experience in general was amazing because we got to meet new people, we got to see how the society in Canada is and how different and how the feeling of safety just kind of is everywhere. And I felt super safe, and I felt like I could say anything, do anything in this country. So it was a great feeling to come to Canada. I'm really glad to be here and to be able to do so many things to help those who didn't get the chance to come here.
Yeah, I mean, I share a lot of what you said as well. I myself am from Syria too, from Aleppo, and leaving is not an easy journey for sure. I could
Yeah,
only imagine what the child would feel like. But again, when you were younger, I was younger too, but it probably at a different age where I could comprehend things a bit differently. And then coming here and experiencing things definitely different in a different way. But we all have different experiences. We all go through different things, and we all try to maybe give in and do some things reflecting our experiences and reflecting our challenges. And
for sure.
what I when I learned about the work that you're doing with the elegant art, basically your organization, I was really blown away, and I was super happy to see that there is an amazing work that's going on with that. So
Yeah.
can you please tell us about elegant art? Introduce it. How did you come up with the idea? What inspired you?
Yeah. So, Elegant Art is an organization there to help the Syrian children living in camps through art. So, the idea initially came to life through the moment of when my dad started showing us kind of videos and telling us about what the Syrian children are going through back in our home country. And keep in mind, I was in grade 3 or around that age, and my sister was 2 years younger than me. So we were kind of learning the shocking truth of, oh, this problem is still happening to all these kids, and they're away from their homes. They're in camps that don't provide any like things that we consider to be normal, like proper food and water, medicine, a shelter, warm clothes in the winters. So we were pretty blown away, and we were heartbroken because these children are our age and they're suffering that much, and we're in a safe country. So we kind of sat down. We thought about what we can do in order to help these children, to kind of support the children who didn't get a chance to go to a safe place like we did. And I remember it was that the day we started kind of talking about the project was a day where I was learning, like, because we were newcomers to Canada, I learned a new word, which was elegant. And I was so proud of it because we did like a mini project at school, and I was like, oh, now I can talk fancy shamancy, like in words, English words. So the first thing that came to mind when my dad was like, oh, what do you think we should name the project? I was like, elegant. It has to have the word elegant. So we were thinking of ways we can incorporate the word, and we eventually came to the conclusion of elegant art. And we thought that because me and my sister love to draw, we can use arts and we can symbolize the different experiences children go through, and we can start drawing them on canvases like these. Yeah. So to show the suffering of the Syrian children, and each canvas artwork had a story, and we used that to fundraise the money we get to Mulham Team, which is an organization that supports the Syrian children with education, with many different sectors. And seeing our project kind of evolve over the years has made me so happy, because we get to see only like bringing a smile on a child's face is just heartwarming on its own. So being able to change these kids' lives in small ways does make an impact, and we believe so, because our organization, when it continues to grow, we will be impacting more lives, and it's just to see this growth is amazing. And when we started drawing pictures on canvases, we then turned them into postcards like these, which are 100% plantable. They're sourced in Canada and made out of wildflower seeds. So the different pictures portrayed, you can definitely plant them anywhere and they would evolve into wildflowers. And that's just a very cool way of bonding nature and art. And then keeping the wildflower as a souvenir for you to remember what is happening with the Syrian children. So we have different stories, like this this postcard talks about how children are thinking of different things we think of as normal things, like a child is thinking about food, a child is thinking about warm clothes like a hat, a child is thinking about toys like a teddy bear. And we kind of don't think about these things, we just have them in our lives. Like the most we can think about is, oh, how am I going to go to the fridge, I'm too lazy. But they have to think about, like, where am I going to get my food from for the day. So it's pretty crazy to think about that, and which is why it motivated us to create this initiative in the first place. Yeah.
Mhm. That's very interesting to hear, and I like how you said it's also, change takes time and it's step by step. You're growing slowly. You're an amazing change maker that I'm having so much, privilege right now to the ability to talk with.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
You're
much for
welcome.
sharing this. So the item that we're collaborating with you is the postcards, and we're
Yeah.
featuring it on our donation store. The way that it works, you can, we have different categories, we have different products on our donation store that you can just go and choose from. And once you choose the postcards that we're featuring from Elegant Art, you have them with you, the four postcards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, featuring these four.
this
Right.
is one of them. Second one.
I think,
Oh,
yeah, there you go. The snowman
and
one,
the third one,
help one,
and the third one, a fourth one.
the fourth one. The
Yeah.
first one, can you also show it one more time? You just flip it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. This is, yeah. So we have the fourth. the four postcards. They're under the $100 category, and they're a minimum donation category in a sense that once someone makes a donation of a minimum of 100, you get a gift by a refugee-led initiative, an author, an artist. So if you contribute towards the postcards, you get plantable postcards from Sidra directly, from Elegant Art directly, and part of the donation would go to supporting Elegant Art, which is also supporting, you said Malham team, the
Yeah,
Malham, right? The refugee camp that supports children. And then another portion would go supporting the Jumpstart programs that we do, supporting refugees, as we said earlier, in terms of finding meaningful employment and entrepreneurship. Um, so that's amazing. Can you do? Does each one of these postcards have a story, Sidra?
for sure. Yeah. So, do you want me to talk about each story?
Yeah, if you can, that would be amazing.
Yeah. So for this one, we had the idea of peace. So we have the bird that we call the source of peace because doves are symbolize peace essentially. So we have this world that is spread with love, like postcards of love. Our world has a mixture of love and hate currently. And so to have the perfect world and to spread most positivity, our view is to have this bird collect all the hate and collect it in the bucket and then replace it with love from the other opposing bucket. And so you can see that the other path is spread with hate, and that is the world that the dove has not gotten to yet. So it's currently making its path and collecting all the hate and replacing with positivity. So that's our goal, and we want so many, like, we want youth to open up and do whatever they want to different causes they care about so that we can spread most positivity in our world and eliminate all hate possible. Of course, we won't have the perfect world of all positivity, but as much as we can, we will try to do.
Keep it realistic. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one I talked about before. And for this one, we had the idea. I don't know if you can see the faint tree in the background. The tree for us kind of symbolizes the growth and the the roots that of like where we come from. So it's in the background to say that uh, we need that growth in our society, and we need to keep changing, to keep evolving. And we have the globe right here, and the places highlighted in red are refugee camps. So we want one hand of a child to be supported by many hands right here trying to help this child. So uh we're trying to highlight, okay, this is in our globe, there's a big part that like millions of people are in refugee camps, and we're trying to get as many people as possible to help children there. So that's a representation of that. And for this one, this was actually the first postcard or the first canvas artwork we drew. It was about how even the snowman cries for the Syrian children. So in harsh winters, they don't even have proper like things to warm them up. And the snowman at least has a scarf, and it's crying because it notices how all these kids don't have nothing. They're barefoot walking on the snow with nothing to warm them, and it's just heartbreaking to see how we don't notice such details, and these details affect their life entirely, and it's crazy. So that's a bit about the stories. We have a lot more canvas artwork. So
Yeah, thank you so
yeah,
much for sharing this. You can
no
find a lot
problem.
of the artwork of Elegant Art on Instagram or Facebook.
Mhm.
Which one would you direct people more to?
I mean, any. I post on Facebook and Instagram, so you would find the same post on either one. Yeah.
So you'll find a lot of beautiful artwork that supports the children in refugee camps on the website, on Facebook, on Instagram as well, Elegant Art. But we're featuring a bundle of four postcards that Sidra just talked about with the back-end story to them. This one you can find on our donation store. Once you make a minimum of 100, you'll get four plantable postcards. It's not just postcards; it's also plantable. This is really amazing for me as well to see young people continuing doing amazing work and building up the future. And that's how I feel we still have, trust, and we still have hope for the future, seeing young people like you, change
Yeah.
makers like you, do a lot of amazing work. Um, so since we're doing, art, talking about art as well and artistic stuff, I usually like to ask a unique question for each of each of the people that we interview. So I wanted to see who's your favorite artist, if you have anyone, painter maybe, or even a musician.
I have like I love music, so I have a bunch of musicians I listen to. I mean artists, I love One Direction. I love a bunch of K-pop, and I love Taylor Swift. I
Mm.
really want to go to her concert right now because the tour that she's doing, and I love Alec Benjamin, and those are like my top favorites. I listen to so many artists. Music is my life. It's so calming. But I also love like we've been learning at school about indigenous artists.
Mhm.
So I learned about an art therapy. So it's where people use art to heal what has come from their past, to kind of draw pieces to kind of debunk everything that has happened in their life and to kind of heal through that. So it was very interesting. I learned about an individual who's called Linda, but I forgot the last name, but she's an incredible art therapist, and she draws like very cool art pieces and supports many people with art therapy. So I just thought I would share that. I found that very cool when I was researching about it.
That's wonderful. Yeah. No, thank
Yeah.
you so much for sharing that. What advice would you give for refugee children around the world?
Um, for refugee children, I would definitely give the advice of being your own self when you come to a new place, because we're built up of different diversities, different people, so we want all that change. We want you as your unique self. So bring yourself with no filters. Don't try to fit in with the culture, with the society. Be yourself and just go out there and say, "This is me," and you got to accept that and just shine like that. So I love it when I go into a space where there are so many different diversities, and I get to learn about each individual, and it's just so cool to learn about each other. So I would definitely say don't go in the trends of like these teenage years and like trying to fit in. Just be yourself always. So it's it's great to do that. And as children, never underestimate yourself. Like even if you're someone coming into a new world, like a new area as refugees, don't be like, oh no, I can't do anything here. This is not my place. Nothing is someone's place. You're always meant to do something anywhere you go. So it's amazing to see young people who have the mindset of I can do it, like I can change it, I can change the world, and I can put my view out there. And I want to send out a message to everyone of you should listen to youth more, because um, just like you're having me right here, and that's amazing. Thank you so much. So I think listening to youth and having their perspective shown can alter our perspectives and put a new twist to it, because essentially like the now generations are going to be the leaders of the next kind of years, and it's just a practice of listening to them right now and seeing what they have, because children aren't like useless in that fact. Like they have ideas and we can share them. So that would be great. Yeah.
That's very true, and I really appreciate that. How old were you when you started Elegant Art? You
I
were
was
12,
I think like 11 or 10.
11 or 10, even younger than 12. Yeah, so very true to believe in yourself, and lots of amazing wisdom you're sharing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know 14 or the age is not a thing for a criteria of wisdom, but you are such a great, wise person. Thank you so much for sharing this. Dawit comments, we should send this recording to Taylor Swift. If you can comment Taylor Swift, that would be awesome. Maybe she can buy some of the postcards, donate, and get some of the postcards from Elegant Art. That would be awesome. Why not? We love Tay Tay. And yeah, hey, yes, Sidra for
Yeah.
Prime Minister. Let's go. Why not?
Thank
Um,
you so much.
yes, I support that. I second that. Anything else you'd like to add, Sidra?
Something I'm working on right now is writing a book because I said I have the passion of writing. So I want to put everything I said, like of my life journey in detail in my book, and so many things I that happened to me throughout my life journey. So I'm writing a book right now, and it's in the process. I'm just looking for a publisher who can help me publish my book. So that's something I wanted to just put out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have the right person for you. There is another person that we're featuring his book as well on our donation store. Ron Elvin. He's an
Mm.
author from Rwanda, and he's working on a publishing organization to publish books and support our authors. So I'd be more
Wow,
than happy to put you in touch with him, and you can
that's
check
amazing.
and different books
Thank
as
you.
well on the donation store. Everyone, not just you, Sidra.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be amazing to see your book, and hopefully one day put it on our donation store too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah.
And we'll have you live again to talk about the book once it's out there.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sidra, and for your time and for your amazing work that you do. I wish you all the best. And if there's nothing else, we can end the broadcast now.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm very honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.